Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be for you, and welcome back to another super detailed guide, beginner's guide to DayZ. So if you watched the first super detailed guide, which did very well, this is 2.0, version 2.0 for 2025. Since we did the last video, there have been a few changes, a few updates, and if you've just got DayZ, maybe for Christmas, you decided to bite the bullet, you got it on Xbox Game Pass for your new shiny Xbox Series X, then I'm going to go through this first hour, hour and a half of survival like I did in the first video. We're doing it completely unscripted off the top of my head, so if I stumble over my words and stutter, that's the reason why. And I'm just going to talk you through every decision I make to try, at least, to get my character into a position where we can go on a big adventure. Because you will always start on the coast if you are playing the OG DayZ map, Chinaris. And the sort of first tip I would give you is you're probably not going to know the map at all. I'm going to assume that you're completely new to the game. This is the first time you've ever spawned in. So I'm pressing tab on my PC to look at my inventory. And down the bottom here, you have hotkeys. Now, the number of hotkey spaces will be determined by your clothing and how many slots for your inventory that clothing will give you. I always hotkey my bandage so it's ready to go at the press of a button. Press button 2, bandage is in my hand, ready to go. But I have nothing else other than my spawn food. So I'm going to eat that, just in case someone decides to come up to me, beat me to death. So at least we're not going to supply them with any free food. You're going to be on the coast, like I said. I know this is a town called Electro. We'll call it Electro for short. But you're not going to have a clue where you are. Like, it's really, if you get this spawn, this exact spawn, you're very lucky because you're close to a well. If you look at the bottom right of the screen, at the HUD, the first symbol is hydration, the second symbol is hunger, the third symbol is temperature, then it's your blood, and then it's your overall health. You start with yellow food and yellow water. If they go into the red, either of them, you're either dehydrating to death or starving to death. Temperature, when it's in the light blue as it is now, you will shiver. Your character will audibly shiver, which can give away your position. But you won't die or start to lose health unless your character hits dark blue on that temperature icon. Putting on clothing like hoodies will increase your insulation. Look, the t-shirt is worst. This hoodie is badly damaged, so it only gives us low insulation. If you hover over the item, if you're on PC, it's a lot easier to do that. It will tell you this is low insulation. It's still an upgrade, but it's because it's badly damaged, and you can fix up items of clothing with a sewing kit or duct tape. This item of clothing, we're not going to wear it, but it's pristine. It can either be pristine, worn, damaged, or badly damaged. If your clothing is badly damaged or damaged, you can repair it up to worn. You can never go from worn back up to pristine. And your clothing will take damage from being punched by players, zombies, shot by bullets, hit by blades if you're in a knife fight with somebody. And as I said, we've been really lucky with our hydration because we've spawned next to a well. This is what all the wells will look like to you if you're playing on DayZ official. And I would suggest if you're new to DayZ, I would probably play official servers for at least 50, 100 hours before you think about jumping onto some crazy modded servers that you've seen your favorite streamer play. Because it can get a bit daunting jumping straight into one of those heavily modded servers if you don't even know the basics of survival. And DayZ is a survival game at the end of the day. At its core, you have to be well-watered, well-fed, be in good temperature. And then the guns and the gear will come in time. Just concentrate on staying alive at the beginning. And then I'm going to caveat that with also be prepared to die a lot. I would say maybe 60% of people on the game will be out for blood as soon as they see you. Maybe even higher than that. You will get some friendly people who will help you out. But be prepared to die over and over and over and over and over again, and get rid of any thoughts of having what we would call gear fear and losing the gear that you've collected, because you're only holding on to that gear for somebody else. You're only borrowing it for a bit. Now see, I sipped water until that symbol came up. Did you see that full stomach symbol? It's disappeared now, but if I drink some more water, it will reappear next to my hydration icon. Get ready. There it is. So as soon as you see that like twisted stomach symbol, stop eating, stop drinking immediately. If you continue to drink and or eat, your character will throw up and you'll lose all that nice hydration or calories if you're eating, and it's a complete waste of time. Get into the habit of being quite thorough with your looting. Go into every house, learn the layout of the house, and then over time you'll learn where items can spawn in each house. I call this house the green mustache. A lot of people in game will call it the green mustache. You stand outside, the house is green, and the little porch above the door makes it look like the guy's got a mustache under two eyes. So if you ever hear someone say, there's a guy, there's a guy, there's a player, there's a player, he's running to the green mustache, that's the house they probably mean. Stuff can spawn there, on the table, on the cabinet here, along here, on top of the fridge, over here. So sometimes I see new players and they say, I've been playing this for hours, I can't find any food. I can't find any gear. Now there are houses like this one where you'll walk in sometimes and there is literally nothing, particularly on the coast. But also I've seen people do this, right? They walk in the house, they go, oh, there's nothing there. You've got to be, sometimes the loot is very, very visible, but other times it can be tucked away. You might even have to tab, and then there's this vicinity icon in the top left. And if there's anything in the vicinity that you can interact with, it will show up there, because sometimes DayZ can be a bit glitchy, a lot of the time. And items might be sort of hidden within the furniture. See, I come in here, and I could sometimes miss an item which is there, just because of the way the wardrobe hides that corner. So when you're new to the game, I loot a bit quicker, but if you're new to the game, take your time. Have a look around. See, when I walked into this room, I immediately clocked the rice on the bed. So that's a huge win. Food, very early doors. We're going to bosh all that rice on top of the apple we've already had and a good swig at the well. Our food and our water icons should now turn into the white. Then we got that full stomach symbol, but we only just got it. So we're not going to be sick. We could finish the rice and we're in no danger of throwing up all that goodness. So you're new to DayZ, the map is enormous, and you're really, really overawed, if you like, by the size of the map. Where do I go? I managed to get lucky. I stumbled across the well. I found some food. What do I do now? Well, you've got to think of your long-term sustainability, food, and the best thing to do in DayZ is fishing. So where are you most likely to find fishing rods, hooks, and all the good stuff for fishing? Well, probably on the coast, yeah? Where most people would fish for mackerel. So if you're really stuck for what to do next after your first 5 or 10 minutes and you've survived this long, congratulations, you've nearly survived your first 10 minutes in DayZ. Head towards the coast and it's quite visible. If you're struggling to find the coast, then in Chinaris the sun will always rise in the morning in the east, which is where the coast is. I'm going to put that on. It looks ridiculous, but it gives you not much insulation. But the helmets in this game, skate helmet, hockey helmet, the military helmets, they will actually give you protection against shock damage. So when you are punched by a zombie or a player, you will receive shock damage. The more you receive, the more likely you are to go unconscious. And of course, when you're unconscious, you're there for the taking. So even though you look ridiculous early life, and it is all about the drip, DayZ, as well as the guns and the knives and the food, wear a helmet if you find one early doors. It might just win you a fist fight. We'll get onto fighting later. So we found another hoodie. It's in better condition. It's damaged. This one is badly damaged. But notice it spawned a road flare. Now I could tell that. I couldn't tell what the item was before I clicked tab and went into my inventory. But when I looked at the item, it described it as a hoodie. And there's a plus symbol next to the word hoodie, which means there is an item within that hoodie. I tab in. Oh, great. It's a road flare. I just drag the clothing over onto my body and it immediately puts whatever was in the pocket of the hoodie in my inventory. The hoodie on me, slightly better condition. We're now white temperature because our hoodie has given us better insulation, and the helmet, some very small insulation. And in the back of my mind now, I'm thinking I'm desperate for a knife. When you're a new spawn, fresh spawn in DayZ, a knife is your best friend. Not only can you use it to kill zombies much easier than punching them, although it's not that difficult to kill one zombie, maybe even two when you get a bit better at the game with your fists, a knife will put them down a lot quicker. So I'm walking along, I'm heading towards the coast, I see some train tracks. Now, I'm using my mouse wheel, I'm clicking it down so that I can zoom in my vision a bit. You can look up the corresponding buttons on PlayStation and Xbox. And when I scanned up the train tracks this way, I noticed something lying in the middle of the tracks. As I get a bit closer to investigate, it is a small stone. We're going to pocket that. Now, if any players have recently been in the vicinity of train tracks or dirt paths, it has the possibility of spawning small stones, and they could be very useful for you in the future. It's not a bad habit to have, scanning, because now I can see a player in the distance. Okay, he's running from right to left. There may be two. I think it's definitely two. Now every bone in my fibre is thinking, should we try and take these two people on and give you a lesson in fighting? But first of all, I'm going to hot key my stone, because believe it or not, you can bring the stone out and use it as a melee weapon, and it'll be slightly more effective than your fists. You will put a player or a zombie down slightly quicker with that small stone in your hands. Now, to raise your fists on the PC, you press the right button, and then to punch, you press the left. If you want to do a strong, powerful attack, you do the whole process whilst holding the shift key at the same time. You'll have to check the corresponding buttons for what it is on console. And also make sure immediately when you load in for the first time, you know how to speak in-game, what is sometimes referred to as VoIP. See that little microphone symbol that pops up? I'm double tapping caps lock on my PC. And see there's a player fighting a zombie. Now I'm going to talk to that player and I'm going to try and be friendly. Because if you don't talk, be prepared to be attacked pretty much 100% of the time in DayZ. The saying is, no mic, no life. And that is pretty much adhered to all of the time. See, they're getting aggro from the zombie. Do you hear the way that zombie screamed? It's because they spotted a player. This one spotted me. The other zombie spotted the other dude. And as you can tell, 3 power hits to the head. And I'm aiming up every time I punch the zombie to make sure it registers as a headshot. 3 power swings, as long as you've got enough stamina to do that, will get you a kill on a zombie. You'll need a bit more for a player. This guy's still fighting zombies. Ah, there we go. There's 2 of them. So we might die here, and we might respawn. But this is a good lesson for you. There's not going to be any frills on this channel. If we die, there'll be no editing. We'll just respawn again. Hello, dude. Hello.
Yo,
Yo, what's happening? Do you know where we are, dude?
do you have some food, please?
Any what? I can't hear you with the with the motorcycle helmet on, bro.
Do you have some food, please?
No, look at the state on me, bro. I just spawned in. I got nothing, bro.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, bro. Now, they look like they were trying to get behind me to attack me. So I was always on guard, right? Didn't want to ever have one of them on my back and have the other guy then attacking me from the front, while the other guy easily attacks me from the back. Now, they don't look like they're desperately trying to hunt me down to kill me, which is cool. So we're just going to leave, right? Basically, if I was playing on my own for a bit of fun, I'd probably have a go at those two guys, just for shits and giggles. But for the purposes of the video, you see, if you talk and you keep quite a confident nature about yourself. Have you got any food? Nah, I just spawned in. Look at the state on me, you know? Do I look like I got food? Even though I've got food. But if I didn't speak, they would 100% attack me, because they don't know then what my intentions are. I'm not giving them any verbal idea of whether I'm friendly, whether I'm plotting against them. They can't tell by the tone of my voice, do I sound nervous and new to the game, so I'll be easy pickings. So if you don't have a microphone or you don't choose to use it, and you get attacked time and time again by other fresh spawns, other players, you've only got yourself to blame, in my opinion, okay? And well, that is the general consensus of DayZ, to be honest. Now, one of them had a metal pipe, and one of them had a hatchet. If I'd have fought those guys, I would have 9 times out of 10 died. That was a very tough fight to win. I would have had to try and isolate them and take one down to at least low health. Now it's a little bit more of an even fight. I've got a metal bar as well, metal pipe. But I also know they're going into the main part of the town where there's a police station, potential for them to get guns. So if you're a completely new player and you've just survived that encounter, you might want to go back the other way. I wouldn't advise avoiding confrontation in DayZ though, because like I say, you're going to die over and over and over again anyway. So learning with every fight, whether you win or lose, you're going to learn something. Whether it's something you should do or you shouldn't have done. So to be honest, I wouldn't avoid every confrontation. There's a time and a place for running away with it in every scenario. But don't make it your go-to. See, we've come to the coast looking for fishing supplies, and lo and behold, I find a fishing hook on a fishing boat. Would you believe it? You couldn't make it up. A lot of the things in DayZ make a lot of sense. Where can I find fishing supplies? On these little fishing boats. Always tab into the vicinity because the fishing hooks can be hidden. These bags are pretty good. You can combine rope with a dry sack to make your own improvised bag. But we haven't got any rope, so I'm not going to carry that with me. I picked up these bones. A bit like the small stone. If I find a boulder on the coast, like these ones, I put the stone in my hand. I walk up to the... And now it says, look, craft stone knife. Hold down left button on my mouse. I've now got my first knife because I was lucky enough to find the small stone on the train track. If I hold a bone in my hand, I can make a bone knife. If I come away from that rock, hold the bone in my hand, drag my new knife over that. See it's green, red, and then orange. Once it turns orange, it means there is a crafting recipe that I can do with these two items, the bones and the stone knife. So I'm holding down left button on the mouse. When I get the orange symbol, or the orange rectangle around the stone knife, I let go. And now I've got a chance to craft an improvised hook. But I'm going to keep the bone for now because I just found a pristine fishing hook. And we did find a can of soda, which is good because it helps with hydration. And it gives you a couple of calories to combat your hunger as well. We've dropped down to a light blue temperature, but it doesn't mean we're dying of the cold yet. Nothing on that boat, so I'm carrying on along the coast. I'm trying my best to play this as if I don't know where I'm going, but of course I do. But putting myself in your shoes, I'm thinking, well, now I've got a melee weapon. I've put it on number 1, so I know at any time if someone comes to attack me or a zombie, I hit 1 on my keyboard, I've got the pipe out. I hold right, and I'm ready to attack. If I want to block, I hold right button on the mouse, and I press S on the keyboard to walk backwards. Look at my hand switch. I'm now blocking. You will take some damage, and your clothing will still get damaged, but you won't take as much as if you're just standing there ready to fight, or standing there doing nothing at all. Again, right button, left button, hold right, tap left, will do a normal swing. If you combine it while holding shift at the same time, you'll do a power swing, and it takes away more of your stamina. Look at my stamina going down. Once I've done a few, I can no longer do one. I can only do the small, what I would call light attacks. But learn, quick tip for you, learn very quickly how to do the power attacks if I were you. Now those guys were going down the main road. We're hugging the coast because the more we sketch them out, if you like, and follow them, the more likely they are to turn around. Can I help you with something? And they're probably going to attack me. So we're going the same way, but we've gone towards the coast where they stayed slightly more along the main road. And the good thing about that is they're going to miss out some nice stuff we might be able to get. Like this military container. You can quite clearly see it's military because of the camo. If you see any of these, you want to dip in and have a look. And sometimes you'll just find a buttstock or something pretty useless, but you never know. You could find pistols, ammunition, blades, clothing, helmets. So let's fight this zombie. Now I'm going to fight him the way that you might fight him. Block, block, hit. The zombies always hit with 2 strikes. Watch it again. Ready? 1, 2. Then it gives you a window of opportunity, right? So you block until the zombie has done that second swing, and then you go to town and hit them in the head with as many power swings as your stamina will allow. And then when you run out of stamina, or you've hit them twice, just go back into block mode until they've done their 2 little swings. So you've done everything you can, then block, block, hit them again. Block, block, hit them again. Wait till they've done their 2 strikes. Do not stand there fighting the zombie like this. Because the zombie will eventually drop, but you'll have taken maybe a quarter of your damage, quarter of your health down. So it's a pretty pointless exercise. Learn the block, block, attack method. You'll see containers like this, which have locks on them both sides, so you can't enter them. You can only enter some containers. Then you'll see buildings like this. Looks like a guardhouse, doesn't it? Well, it is a guardhouse. And inside you can find police clothing, ammunition like that, a radio. These trousers will give me a 15 capacity. Whereas these pants are only going to give me a 12. See there? So they give me 3 more slots, the police pants. So we're going to keep hold of them. And we're going to find more 9mm. So we've got 2 boxes of 9x19 now, which will fit in a Glock or an MP5. So that's a pretty nice find. We're just missing the gun now, obviously. But if those motorcycle heads had come down this way, they might have picked themselves up 2 boxes of ammunition, and now they're in our pocket because we decided to come down this way. We're not desperately seeking food because we're white water, white food still. Look at the HUD in the bottom. You only want to start semi-panicking when you hit yellow on your water or your food. Then you want to really be looking for a well, or you want to be looting residential houses for food. You will not find food in buildings that look like this, purely because you're more likely to find industrial items like base building equipment, shovels, pickaxes, etc. As I say, it does exactly what it says on the tin 9 times out of 10, DayZ. If you kill a surrounding zombie, though, they might drop food for you. So if you're desperate for food, another tip for you, people who are new to DayZ, you players that are new to DayZ, get used to farming the zombies. I see a lot of new players that get really panicked by the zombies. They will drop a lot of good stuff. Rope, blades, food, rags you can turn into gloves or use for temporary bandages. What you don't want to do is you don't want to aggro 3 or 4 zombies at the same time. Then it gets difficult. So if I press C on my keyboard, I go into crouch mode. If I hold it, I go prone. I will then go into basically sneak mode, as you can see from my shadow. And if I hold down shift, instead of running, I will just crouch walk a bit faster. But I'm still making less noise with my footsteps. Now I've spotted 1 zombie on their own. No friends nearby that I can see. So I'm quite confident 1v1 I can take this zombie. With no other zombies around. I'm going to show you the way you do it again. Block, block, smash them again. You can even get a third in. Before they even managed to try and hit me again, that zombie was dead. I don't want their high vis. I don't want their hat. But it's just luck of the draw what the zombies will drop you. So you can hug the coast entirely if you like. Or you can decide to be a little bit braver and go inland. But look at the way I'm using my scan option. I'm zooming in, if you like. We haven't got binoculars. We haven't got anything else like that. But what I don't want to do is go like this. Sprint into town. I'm holding W and shift on my keyboard. My character is sprinting. You will lose more calories and hydration quicker by sprinting. Sometimes you need to sprint to get away from things. People, zombies. But if I just sprint blindly now, and I haven't looked ahead, I might not have noticed that zombie that's there. And if there was another one over there, and another one over there, and that zombie starts screaming and chasing me, all of a sudden I've got 3 zombies on me, and I'm in big trouble. But by scanning, I can see this street looks quite quiet. I think I'm going to have a look in these houses and see if I can get anything that could be of use to me before I get into the main part of town. You can see how built up that area is. So you don't need to be a genius or a veteran DayZ player to know when you're in a bigger city and you can see the area over there is built up, you're more likely to get hospitals, police stations, fire departments. They're not likely to be on the outskirts in industrial areas. Players are going to want to try and go to police stations for stab vests, guns, ammunition. At fire departments, you can get axes, good clothing with very good insulation. There we go. We found ourselves a hatchet. That's a decent weapon. Better on zombies. If you can find a bladed weapon, a knife, a hatchet, a sickle, always use that on zombies. It does more damage to zombies. Or the infected, whatever you want to call them. We're going to call them zombies, though. Or Zeds. I think the technical term is infected, but I digress. If you get into a fist fight with a player, a blunt weapon will knock out a player quicker than some bladed weapons. But I find the hatchet very good on both player and Zeds. So we'll just bear that in mind. See, I scanned ahead. That's my normal vision. But I'm holding down the mouse wheel and I can clearly see that zombie. And a couple of updates ago, zombies hearing became very, very intuitive. So don't be surprised if a zombie hears you from a distance where you think, what? There's no way they heard me from there. They will. So get used to creeping, especially the more you get closer to those built up areas. So I'm thinking, I haven't got any gloves. I haven't been, more 9mm. I haven't been lucky enough to find any gloves, but I've found some clothing. Now, most clothing, not all, but most clothing you can cut up into rags. Hold the clothing in your hands, or put it on the floor and look at it with a blade in your hand, and it will give you the prompt. Do you want to craft rags? Yes, I do. Hold down the left button. Your character will go into the animation, and at the end of it, you're left with a stack of rags. However many rags are determined by the type of clothing. As long as you've got a minimum of 2 in your hand, see the number 2 there, you will then get options. Craft improvise hand wraps. That's what we want. But you can do a head wrap, feet wrap, face wrap, or an eye patch, or an armband. We want gloves, though. If you cut up a chicken, or believe it or not, you can cut up players for their bones and their guts, because you can turn guts into rope, as long as you combine the guts with a blade. You will then get bloody hands, and if you then eat or drink from a well with bloody hands that are not covered with gloves, you will get violently, violently sick. So ideally, before the 29-minute mark that we're on now, I should have already made those gloves with my stone knife and any other item of clothing I'd found. I was a little bit blasé. If I were you, I would be making those hand wraps as a priority in the first 10-15 minutes, or as soon as you find a knife anyway. Now look at the way I'm scanning. I could hear a zombie there. Look, there they are. Another one over there, but I know there's only one in the field here. So I'm going to take my chances with the one zombie. Now, if I time the power attack, I can hit her while she's running at me. And then a further 2 times before she even gets a chance to swing. Now, that's a bit of an advanced technique. That might take some practice for you. You get to judge the distance of your swing with your fists or your weapon, your hatchet, whatever it is. And then you time it so that you shorten the distance. You meet the zombie on the volley, if you like. As soon as that zombie runs and gets within range, you will connect with that power attack. But that's a little bit of an intermediate technique. For now, you keep doing the block, hit that I'm going to do on this one. So that's the stance the zombie makes when they've aggroed on you. They scream, they throw their hands in the air. Wait till he gets to you. Block. 1 hit, step in. 2 hits. Oh, you went down with 2 with the hatchet, which is beautiful. But did you see how I hit him with the first one? Right? And then as it lands, I'm stepping forward because the first hit is going to knock the zombie backwards a bit. So you've got to break the distance, shorten the distance between you and the Z for that next hit. I'm going to drink my soda, my can of spiked lemonade. And if you've got this far in your first half an hour, give yourself a big round of applause because all your statistics in the bottom right-hand corner of your HUD are white. That's about as good as it gets, really. We're not hungry, we're not thirsty, we're not freezing, we haven't lost any blood, and we haven't lost any health. I'm just doing a bit of general looting. I know the motorcycle kids, the motorcycle helmet kids, would be in town by now. They've probably looted the police station, and they've probably got themselves a gun. And it's funny how aggressive or more aggressive people will get in DayZ once they've got a gun. Okay, if they haven't got a gun, even if they're quite confident fighting with their fists or with melee weapons, they may choose to not risk it, especially if they want to go on an adventure with their friend and they've only just met up with their friend after 10 minutes of trying to get the same spawn area. They may not be so cocky as to attack you, but as soon as they get a gun, they feel like they're John Wick and they got to shoot everything that moves. You know the score. DayZ's one big human sociological experiment, in my opinion, and that's what happens when you give someone a gun. They want to use it. So I know this town like the back of my hand, so I know the way to the well and the way to the police station. But you see, immediately I've gone into crouch mode because I saw that zombie. That zombie's scream is going to give me away. Now, if I had any other weapon, I've got a stone knife. If you've got a blade you can hold in one hand, you can perform a stealth kill. As long as you are crouched and you crouch walk directly behind a zombie, hold down right button and then click left. Instead of doing that animation, it will perform a stealth kill, but it can be a bit buggy and a bit fiddly. See, I'm looking down the street to make sure no one's watching me, lining up an easy shot while I'm doing this. I'm not just hyper-focused in the one direction. You've got to have eyes in the back of your head in DayZ. Now, this might work, it might not. It can be a bit glitchy. But you've got to be pretty much directly behind the zombie. Then remember, right-click, left-click. You'll perform a one-hit stealth kill. Oh, there you go. And you get the reward of having some food. And you won't have to stand there and fight the zombie for 5 to 10 seconds. Oh, after the zombie has screamed. Whoa! I told you. Just give someone a gun. That's what happens. I mean, luckily he couldn't aim. And now he's going to have all the zombies on him. But unfortunately, we're running through the town. And the zombies are going to be on us as well. So I'm running out of stamina, but I'm trying not to panic, right? What I'm going to do is run here to this building. I've turned around. The guy's not directly behind me. I put doors between me and the zombies. Get my hatchet out. Wait a second. But I don't want to back myself into a building. So lucky that guy couldn't aim for shit. I'm waiting for my stamina to be full. It's full again. I'm bolting. If you hold control on your keyboard, you can twist your head around and actually look behind you at the same time as running. I can't fight a guy with a gun with a hatchet, and there was 2 of them, so I bet it was the motorcycle helmet boys. You don't have to be a genius to work that out. I'm going through a building, trying to lose the zombie, but look, I'm running into another zombie. So it's like a... It's a tricky one if you just want to run away from someone, because you are going to aggravate the other zombies that are in your path. So I'm putting a wall between us now. Zombies are still chasing, so I'm going up into the woods. And it could be that we haven't lost these guys and they're just going to shoot us in a minute. But we've done our best, okay? Now there's 2 zombies, so I'm blocking the first one, then the second one. Don't get stuck on the rocks. But at the same time, I'm waiting for my stamina to build up. See, so I can drag them further away from that town. Now the guys, if they're just catching up to me, they don't necessarily know where I've gone, but also they haven't got a clean line of sight for an easy shot, okay? So I'm taking these to the church, because there's a door on the church. There's more zombies. Now, if I can run to the back of this church, where there's a bit of space, okay, I wait for the zombies to chase me, and then I juke them through the pews, then quickly tap F and shut the door. I've trapped the zombies. They can't get out. Believe it or not, the undead can't open doors. Now, we've got away from that situation just by being an experienced player. You're probably going to die. I mean, I should have died. 9 times out of 10, I should be dead. I was sneaking up on a zombie, stealth killing, walking slow. I even had my eyes on a swivel, looking for players, and a guy still crept up on me and had a very easy shot. I don't know how he missed everything. We managed to juke him. We managed to juke those zombies, and we've put a great deal of distance between ourselves and the player. Now, if that's you, and you're a new DayZ player, lockpick is nice. You're probably now super lost, aren't you? You're thinking, okay, I've got away from the bad guys, but where the hell am I? Well, I'm going to loot these couple of houses on the top of the hill of Electro. Only because as an experienced player, I know there's a chance they can spawn guns, shotguns. Because they're classed as hunting spawn points. There's a bag for us. See how my prediction came true? Those guys were talking to us back at the spawn area. And then as soon as you put a gun in their hands, they turn into Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid wannabes. That's DayZ for you folks. I told you. I'm going to search this house. We've got a bag out of this so far, which is nice. That's a bit rubbish. But look how much more inventory we've got now, 25 slots. You can put a glow stick on there. See these symbols? I like to organize my inventory. You do it however you want to do it. If these guys have followed us, we're dead, but... yeah, let's just leave that there for a second. It's okay. If it was one guy on his own with a pistol, we would have had a chance with the hatchet. Especially as a somewhat experienced player. We would have had a chance one-on-one, but there was 2 of them. And also, the guy's shooting. So what he's doing is making a lot of noise. And he's attracting pretty much every zombie in the vicinity to the gunshots. So you could end up standing there. You could have all the melee fighting skill in the world. End up killing those guys. And then you've still got to deal with 20 zombies. And you've probably been shot in the fight. You're half health. You might have lost a lot of blood. You need to bandage. So sometimes it's better to get out of there and reevaluate. Now, as a new player, like I said, it might be difficult to retrace your steps. I'm able to do it. If you'd have been scanning around town, you might have noticed, oh, there's an industrial area over there. A candy cane, I would call that, like a big tower stack. And you could locate the coast from there. You could follow the sun as well. The sun was directly above the beach. Oh my god. 2 zombies, so I'm concentrating on the one who I've already battered. Yeah, because I knew he was ready to drop any second. So even though this other zombie was hitting me, doing me damage, potentially cutting me, I'm still looking around for these guys. If they're shooting someone else now over there, look. So we may be able to completely flank these guys. And they may pass by. Oh my god, there's a lot of zombies here. Oh no, that zombie's aggravated as well. So that, if they've got good ears, they might have heard that zombie. Killed that one pretty quick. And we know those shots were pretty much up by the church where we trapped the zombies. Maybe a bit further down. Okay. Maybe they've given up looking for us, you know. We can't assume that, of course. No way. But in my mind, because I know the town so well, I know where there's a little guard shack where we can almost see it. Where we may be able to get a gun, and then we're in the fight then. You know, we've got a fighter's chance. A puncher's chance. They seem to have quite a lot of ammo, these boys. If it's the same people. But, you know, as a new player, you might just thank your lucky stars you got out of that alive. And you decide to completely go a different direction now. But the player that I am, I can't let things like that go so easily. I'm almost desperate to find a gun so we can have a go at them and say, you want to mess with us? You made a big mistake. Say hello to my little friend. This is dangerous because this zombie's going to make a lot of noise now. We're getting closer and closer to where we were initially shot at. They didn't land anything. More duct tape. We've already got a roll of duct tape. Remember I said you could fix up your clothing with it though? Most items of clothing. So it is worth picking up at least one full roll if you've got the carry capacity for it. I'm creeping because even though it slows me down, makes me an easier target, I don't want to run into 2 or 3 zombies and get into even more trouble again. So I'm creeping. I'm keeping an eye out for these 2 clowns. Now there's the guard shack that might have a gun in it. God damn it, there's loads of zombies to my left. I'm going super slow and the zombie has still heard me. So I've got to kill this one. I've got no choice. Well, that was down in town there. They're still in the area, these guys. It looks like they're just killing fresh spawns, fresh people who've spawned in and can't fight for them, you know, can't stick up for themselves. They haven't got a weapon. What are you going to do? Unbelievable. We find more bullets, but we haven't got a gun for any of the bullets we've got. You can find some pistols like a Derringer, a revolver. You can find them in residential apartment buildings, an IJ, a Makarov. You can find in these residential apartments or houses. So it's worth dipping into them as you go in along, by all means. There's a military tent in the middle of town, but I mean, it's such a hot spot that I'm going to avoid it. I almost want to go back to the police station in the hope that they overlooked a gun or that they simply couldn't carry all of the guns that the police station had to offer. So I've heard the shots coming from that direction. If they chased me in a half-decent way, they would have at least chased me through that archway or wherever way we ran and then up that way, which is where I think the shots are coming from. So I'm basically calling their bluff, really, and I'm backtracking. Oh, sugar, they're this way. Yeah, they're close. They're close left. So I'm going more right. Pretty much going to go back to the spot where he took a shot at me. Almost. They're killing someone else here, look. Oh my god, I'm lagging all over the place. Apologize. Let me pause the record in a sec. Sorry about that. Game started lagging, so I thought it was easier to pause the recording and then pick it back up. So these guys are hanging around town, just shooting everything that moves, maybe even zombies. Look, while they're distracted, I'm going into the police station. He's punching zombies now. He's in that apartment. He's in this apartment. Killed him. Killed one. I've been knocked unconscious. If it's the two motorcycle helmet boys, we're probably going to die. If the other guy was bleeding, who walked past us in the corridor, but the reason you've got a black screen now is I'm unconscious. But I decided while they were fighting zombies and distracted, I was going to make a play. And do you know what? Even if I die now, I took one of them with me. So personally, I feel vindicated. But like I say, as a new DayZ player, you're going to probably play that situation completely differently. And step away from the situation as soon as you lost these clowns. Right, I'm only in here with a zombie and the dead guy. I've got 2 cuts, so I need to bandage immediately. Put my bandage in my hand, hold left button. Keep it held down until you fix both bleeds. This guy's got a gun, but it's... That's it. Oh. Okay. Hello, dude.
Why are you shooting people?
No, I just killed the murderer, bro. I just attacked him with my hatchet and killed him. He shot at me earlier, and now I've killed him. He's dead on the floor in here.
Alrighty.
So you can stay out there or you can just die anyway, but I've done the town a good deed. It's completely up to you, bro.
Die anyway. It sounds like you're gonna kill me either way.
No, but if you come in here and try and take any of my loot, that's what I'm suggesting. If you try and get greedy or get any ideas, that's all I'm saying. I've got an IJ full of ammo. It's up to you. Okay, bro. Okay, bye-bye. He may have been genuine about leaving. But, you know, why would you trust anyone in a video game? It's DayZ, right? You'll soon learn not to trust anybody. So I've locked the door. Luckily, we found a lockpick. And I bluffed him to say I had a fully loaded IJ. Now I have got a fully loaded IJ. We're going to hotkey that to number 2. I'm sorry I'm not giving you the actual... I'm holding R to reload the magazine. I was holding R to reload the bullets, okay? This guy's got a pistol out here. I'm going to take it. So I don't know why that other guy who was just outside didn't take that pistol. Frying pan, water bottle I'll take. Ammo I'll take. I don't really need his chicken. Right, this guy's got a P1 pistol which takes 9mm ammo. Remember all... Oh, and now we're dead. Because this guy has shot us down to blinking health. We are going to die here. If he comes back and shoots us while we're bandaging, we're dead. Ooh, the little snakey did have a gun. Okay, that might be Motorcycle Helmet's friend, to be honest. Shit. Where is this guy? He's around there. He's there. Oh god, we're in a terrible position. I locked the door to keep the freshie away. decided to make a run for it. I don't fancy my chances at all. We're only one touch of a feather away from being murdered. But I'm changing up my position because that guy knew where I was. Okay, he knew for certain I was in that room. And now look at us, we are red, flashing health. Literally a gust of wind could blow us over dead. And we are red blood, which is why the screen almost goes black and white. I'm taking the opportunity to reload. While we've moved away from the murder house, the scene of the crime. Like I said, hold the magazine in your hand, hold R to put the bullets in, then hold the gun in your hand and hold R to put the magazine in the gun. So that interaction was a bit frosty. I was quite threatening towards that guy, but I was backed into a corner. It was my loot. That's the way I saw it. I killed the guy with my hatchet. So what you would normally do in this situation is you can sit it out, okay? Your health will regenerate over time by just sitting still. It's a painful process in DayZ though. A painful process. It's one that is easier to do when you're playing the game for fun in your own time, if you like, rather than you're doing a video like a tutorial for beginners on how to play your first sort of hour of DayZ. Like I said, you probably wouldn't have rushed into that building and taken on an armed gunman with a hatchet, but we did, and we won. And then some other guy came along and chanced his arm, to be fair, and nearly killed us, and then he would have got away with all the goodies. And that's how DayZ works a lot on the coast. It's the last man standing, and they get to walk away with all the loot. GG's, as they say. But now I wonder how many bullets, or lack of bullets, that other guy had. Remember, we have got a lockpick on us. We could lock ourselves away in a building with no line of sight, instead of lying down next to a window like a clown, like I did earlier. Don't do that. Oh, there's that guy. I can see him. No, I can't. It was just the way the wall was rendering in. But you could now get yourself into a better building than this. See my character moaning because I'm red flashing health. I'm on the brink of death. There's been a lot of shenanigans in that apartment though, haven't there? There was a couple of other dead bodies outside. But I hope so far in this video, whatever happens to our dude or dudette, I hope I've explained, you know, when things got a bit frantic then, I probably wasn't explaining every step and every press of the keyboard that I was doing. But the thought process is what I want to get across to people. You can learn the controls. You can Google them. You can look them up yourself through the main menu, you know, through the options. But the thought process is what I learned most from people when I was watching them stream and post videos of DayZ content. And a lot of the time, they didn't explain their thought process. They just ran in, and you had to sort of second guess. Oh, well, he's obviously just taking a chance because he's got nothing to lose, or he's obviously hugging the coast because he likes walking along the beach. I don't know. But I like to explain it. No, I'm walking along the coast because I'm looking for fishing equipment, or yes, we're going to take a chance against these guys because they sound like they're in the middle of a gunfight. They're trapped in a corner with zombies attacking them in all directions. So why not take a chance? You might die. And I've died hundreds of times trying that same play. We've barely got out of there alive. See how I'm moving from room to room. Oh, there's a dead zombie up there. So someone's been through recently. Always use signs of a player to your advantage. Dropped loot, dead zombies are a massive indication that a player has been through recently. Now, if someone runs up that staircase and shoots me in the face, good luck to them, but I'm pretty confident I could blast them before they do that. See, our health bar, if you like, our health indicator is not flashing anymore. It's what they call solid red, which is still not great. But I've moved from the apartment where I killed the guy. I've moved to another location further away, scene of the crime. And now I've moved even further away. Now, the more times I move while I'm recovering my blood and my health, the less chance there is of somebody finding me. Quick rule of thumb with DayZ, never overstay your welcome, whether it's in the spawn town where you spawn. If you're new, you might take an hour to go around and an hour and a half, 2 hours. But usually now that I'm quite experienced in DayZ, I'll loot up 15 minutes and then I'm gone. I'm leaving because every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, there could be a new player spawning in the vicinity looking for all that juicy loot that I've now got. And they're going to start swinging an axe at me or something, a baseball bat. So never overstay your welcome is a good rule of thumb to play with DayZ. We're on the move again. We're going in an opposite direction to the scene of the crime. But instead of going out of that door, I'm going to go out of this door because there's no direct line of sight to where the murder happened, okay? If this guy's running around like a madman looking for us, then, you know, it is what it is. When you're red health, you won't be able to jump over fences either, so you've got to take the long way round, which is quite frustrating. And also, that might not have been the motorcycle helmet guys. And they could still be patrolling the coast, and we could bump into them. But we're moving away, going as far away as possible. And what was the payoff for that engagement? Well, we got a fully loaded IJ. We've also got this P1 pistol. And I'm just going to open up a box of 9mm because I've only got 2 loose rounds. I'm looking down the road, see if I can see that guy. With our blood being low, visibility's poor. The guns are banged up. The IJ, the Makarov, is damaged. And I can... oh my god. I thought that was a player then. You can see the Makarov is damaged, and if you hover over the mag, it's pristine. There's a chance of that gun jamming. That being damaged, and its magazine being damaged, gives that P1 9mm pistol a bigger chance of the gun jamming on us in the middle of a fight, which could be really annoying. Always put one in the chamber, then put your fully loaded magazine in the gun, because then you get that one extra shot, okay? I don't really want to be fighting zombies in my condition. But this zombie has insisted. So we got to do what we got to do. Block, block, swing. Second swing. He's got a helmet on, so he's going to take more than your usual zombie would. And he actually managed to clip us once with one of his slaps. And he did us a little bit more damage, which isn't great. See, we're still moving away from the scene of the crime and the big smoke, if you like. And our hunger has dropped to yellow, so we're not panicking. We're not panicking Skywalker just yet, but we are going to be in the need of looking out for food as we're escaping with our 2 pistols that we've won from our gunfight, our shotgun ammo, our bottle. Not exactly the world's greatest haul from a sticky situation, but we'll take the GGs, we'll take the win, the small victories in DayZ, because sometimes feel just as good as the big ones. I was pretty convinced I was going to die in that situation, either to the first guy we killed, or while we were unconscious. If that guy had been a bit quicker to get to us, I was easy pickings, unconscious on the floor. And then he shot at us through the window. Luckily, he only had a chambered gun, a gun without a magazine, where you can only load 1 bullet at a time. If he'd have had 2 bullets, I would have been dead. But he could only shoot me 1 bullet at a time. So by the time he was reloading, I was shooting back at him with the IJ, and obviously he was a bit wary about getting absolutely slapped to death with the Makarov. No food in here, but someone has recently had a fire. The fireplace is chilly. That will indicate how long ago the fire was burning. But it was recent enough that the fireplace remnants, the ashes, are still there. So that's another good indicator that you're on a person's trail, or that another player has been in the vicinity recently. So I'm scanning up the coast to see if I can see any obvious signs of trouble. And I'm probably going to leave our character nursing their wounds in this shed. And I want to throw this out to you. Super detailed thought process guide for beginners 2.0. It'd be great if you could drop a like. It'd be great if you could sub if you're not already subbed to the channel. We're trying to hit 5k this year. But what do you think about carrying on this character and continuing the story, if you like, the thought process, until they die? Or would you rather me just do a new spawn location other than that town Electro that we were in? Or would you rather me get some gear and go to a predetermined destination inland and show you what I do next, if you like? But I'm sort of leaning towards a part 2 of the super detailed guide, carrying on that character with red health. Can we keep them alive? And if so, on leaving that town and going up the coast with the water on my right, leaving Electro, where would I get to next? What do I decide to do? Are we just going to get finished off quite quickly by another freshie? It's up to you if you want to put what you think in the comments, but thank you very, very much for watching. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Bye-bye.